Hello people, this is Code Grind and in today's video we'll be creating a password validator like this using CSS and JavaScript. So this is what our final project will look like. I have a password field over here and 5 different conditions, like the password should contain at least 7 characters. It should not be more than 14 characters long and other 3 conditions like this. So for clear understanding, I have just changed the password to text so that we can match what our conditions are. So let's just see how this works. So now since the password is less than 14 characters, this condition is satisfied and it changed from red to green, and the cross sign over here changed from cross to tick. Let me zoom it in. Yeah. So now as soon as I press characters, the conditions are checked, and whichever condition is satisfied, it just works like this. So now I enter a number, I enter a special character and 3 more characters, and now all the conditions are satisfied and everything has turned into green. And as soon as I press backspace, conditions which were satisfied are now not satisfied and everything goes back to red. So this is what we'll be creating today. So let's get straight into it. So let's get started with the HTML part, then we will jump to the styling part, and at last we will do the JavaScript part. So before starting, I need to tell you 2 things that here I have included an external index.css file in which we will be doing the styling, and I also have an external font linked which is from Google Fonts, and I'll be using this font as it is a very good one and I like it. And at last, I have an external link for Font of Awesome, which is a website which provides us with a huge number of icons. I will be telling you how to use Font Awesome when we come to the styling part. So now let's just start our HTML part. So we will start by writing by having a form. Let's give the action to anything. Then we will have a label, enter form, enter password. Oh, so we will have our enter password over here. Then we will have the input type. So for now I will be using input type text so that you will be able to see what I am typing. You can you will have password over here. Name, let's give it a name of password. Then we don't need the ID. Let's also give it a placeholder of enter password. So I have a live server running, so as soon as I press save, I will be able to see the changes and I won't need to refresh every time. So let's just save it, and as you can see we have our nice little input field and the label over here. Now we will give some breaks and then we will write our rules. So we will create a div tag for our rules, and let's just write your password should, and then we will start writing the rules. Let's give a break first, then we will write each and every rule in a span like this, span dot rule 1, and our first rule will be here. Similarly we will have span dot rule 2, and we will be having 5 different rules. So this will be a rule 3, rule 4 and rule 5. So the first rule will be your password should contain at least 7 characters, and the next one will be should not contain more than 14 characters, and then we will have should contain uppercase and lowercase letters, and then we will also have should contain at least one number, and at last contain at least one special character. Yeah, so these will be our rules. So this will just be our HTML part. So now let's jump to the styling part. So we'll be doing our styling in index.css file over here. So To begin with, we will first be giving the font which I have externally linked from Google Fonts. So the font family, the font which I have linked is called Poppins Sans Serif. So I saved, and now you can see the changes over here in the font. It is so much better than the default font. Now we want it in the center, so let's just give it a display of flex, and then the flex direction of, oh no, not the flex direction, sorry, justify content of center. Yeah, this will do it. And also give it a margin top of, let's say, 10%. Now we will select our input type is equal to text. We will select it, and we will give it some specifications, like we want its height to be 25 pixel. We'll get the width of, let's say, 100%, and then a border of 1 pixel solid black. Now let's give it a border radius to make it a bit curvy. Border radius of 7 pixels. Then let's also give it some padding, as without padding you see it just doesn't look good, it looks so congested. Now you see we have this autocomplete, so just first let's turn the autocomplete to off. Yeah, now we don't see anything like this. Now let's provide it a padding of, let's say, top bottom of 5 pixel and left right of 15 pixels. Yeah, this looks so much better. Now let's give it an outline. As you can see right now, if I focus on it, it just gives this dark black outline which doesn't look good. So we need to turn the outline off by this property. Now let's give it a background color of, I have actually selected one background color. Yeah, this one. It's slightly on the bluish side. The width is so much. Let's just, yeah, 90% looks good now. This is good. Now we will have a color. Right now if you see, the color is black and it is not visible, so we will change the color, color to white. And also let's give it a margin top of, let's see, 0.5 rem. 0.5 is too much. Yeah, this is better. Yeah, this looks good. We have our input field sorted. Now let's give it, let's give the placeholder some styling. So we'll give our placeholder some styling. We will give it a nice gray color of, let's say, yeah, this looks a bit brighter than the previous one. Now let's style our rules. Now you can see they are all inline because we have used the span tag whose default display is inline, but we want it to be block. So we will, first of all, we will give it a display of block. Yeah, now they are line by line, we can see them. Now we will also give them a color of red because by default we want them to be red in color. Yeah, this looks better. Now we want a cross sign to be here. So we will be using the cross sign by implementing the pseudo element before. So now here we will be using font awesome. So I will be telling you how to use font awesome over here. So we will be specifying the content. Generally we specify the content as nothing, but here we want the cross icon. So now how to use the cross icon over here, let me show it to you. Now as you can see, this is the font awesome website, and here we have the cross icon opened. Now here you can see we have the Unicode. We will just copy this Unicode, and here in the content property we will put a backslash and then paste this Unicode. So this is how we'll be using the cross icon. If you want to use it in HTML code, like in here somewhere, this is the way how you can use it. You can have an I tag and then give it a class of this, and you will have it in your HTML. page, but we are using it as content, so we need to have the Unicode, which is provided by Font Awesome. And for this, right now if you see, we don't have any changes. We have this box because we also need to specify the font family. So our font family will be Font Awesome. Now you can see we have this cross, but these two really stick together, so we also need to provide it a margin right. So let's give it a margin right of, let's say, 0.7 em. Yeah, this looks so much better. Now whenever it changes to green, we need to give it a transition also. So we can give it a transition of 0.2 seconds will be good. So when it changes its icon from cross to tick, we will have a bit of a delay between that period. Now we need some gap between your password should and this first rule. So let's give the rule 1 some margin top, let's say of 0.5 em. Yeah, this is better. So this was all we need to do. With this will be displayed by default, but we also need to specify some styling when this thing, whenever a condition is satisfied, we need to turn it to green and the icon should be changed from cross to tick. So what we will be doing is, using JavaScript, whenever a condition is specified, we will add a class. Like if rule 1 is satisfied, we will add a class to this rule 1 called correct, and we will provide different styling for this class. Like here, we will have a dot correct class and we will give it a color of green. So whenever a rule is specified, a correct class will be added and we will add different styling and it will just override the previous styling. So to show you how this will work, I have already added the correct class to rule 1. Now let's save it, and you can see this will how this looks. And we also need to change this before element. So for correct class, we will just have the before element and its content. Now we need to have a backslash, and then we will go to the Font Awesome website and copy the Unicode of this tick, and we'll just paste it over here. Now we don't need to specify the font family again, as we have already specified it. Now let's save it. Yeah, but as you can see, the check mark is a bit bigger than the cross mark, so we have some more gap here. So we need to decrease the font size of this check by a little bit. So let's try 0.8 rem. Yeah, now they are perfectly aligned. So this was all we need to do with the styling part. Let's remove this correct class now. Yeah, so this was all about styling. Now let's jump to the JavaScript part. So now for the JavaScript, we will just give it in the last. Now I will provide this Font Awesome code. This is my personal kit code and I will provide it in the description below so that you can use all the latest fonts from Font Awesome. So this was it. Now let's get to the JavaScript. Yeah, we will write our code here. So now first let's just get this input field over here. We will just get it right here, like the const. Let us call the variable as in user input document dot selector. We have the class name of dot class. Achha, we haven't given it a class. We will give it a class. Now we will call it, and we have the input field called stored in this variable. Now what we will do is, whenever a key is entered in this user in the input field, we will call a function, and in that function we will have all the coding. So for that we will have add event listener and key up, and whenever key is pressed we will run an arrow function, and inside that arrow function we will just simply call a function. Let's call the function validate pass. Yeah, so we will create a function validate pass, and to this function we will pass whatever here is entered here. So we will pass user input dot value. So user input dot value means in user input we have this input field over here, and user input dot value means whatever is entered by the user in this input field. So now let's create the this validate pass function. And since end user value is passed to this function, we also need to accept it. We will accept it in the password variable. Yeah, it is I am using the ES6 method of defining a function. You can also use the old method, like the old method will be something like this: validate pass. Yeah, this is the old method of defining it, but I am using the latest method, which is like this. You can use whatever you prefer. So now let's what I will be doing here is I will be creating something which many of you won't know. I will be creating an object for every condition like this. Let me first write the code so that it will be more clear for you. I will explain it to you, but first let me write it. Yeah, so what this will do is whenever we call this like lowercase dot test. Yeah, so now what we will do is here we created an object named lowercase. Now whenever we call the function test, this is a predefined function in JavaScript. Whenever we call this function test using the lowercase object and pass the value password. Now password, what is the value of password? It has whatever the user has entered. So whenever we pass this value of password to the test function, it will return either true or false based on the condition which we have specified here. So the condition which we have specified is whether this password contains anything between A to Z, small a to Z. Now if this condition is specified, it will return true, and if it is not, it will return false. So for testing purpose, let's just console.log this. Yeah, let's just do this. I will open my inspect element over here. Yeah. Here is the console. Now whenever I type, let's say I type capital A. So here you can see we don't have anything. Oh, that's because I have the spelling mistake. Here I have the C in capital, but here I have the C in small. So let's just change it. Yeah, now reload it. Now as I press A, as you can see, this is a small letter and the condition is now satisfied. So we have a true value over here. But now let's just reload the page, and if I press capital A, it returns us the false value because we don't have any small letter. But now press 1, we don't have anyone, so a false again. But if I press a small letter, we have the true value over here. So this function is working just fine. Let's reload it. Now we will do it for every one of our conditions. So the next condition was for uppercase. Let's just copy this, and now instead of small a to z, what we will have is capital A to Z. So this regex is a class which is predefined in JavaScript, and we are just using it. Now we also want to check for numbers. So for numbers, let's just copy this, and we'll have 0 to 9. Now for special characters as well. For special characters, we can't specify the range. Like in small letters we specified the range from A to Z, in capital from capital A to Z, in numbers from 0 to 9. But but special characters do not have any range, so we need to specify each and every capital letter special character like this. Oh sorry, brackets don't count. Yeah, this is it. So these are all special characters. So we have created 4 different objects: lowercase, uppercase, numbers, and special character. So now we will be testing it. Now the first condition was to check the length. So for checking length, we have a very simple method. If password dot length, the password dot length function will just return the length of the password. If it is greater than equal to 7, then what we will do is we will add the class correct to the rule 1. So we will just select rule 1. So this will select this span class. This span class is selected over here by this line, and to its class list we will add a class of correct. So now whenever this condition is specified, a class list of correct will be added, but whenever this condition is not specified, we need to remove this class. So like this, if the condition is specified, the class will be added. If the condition is not specified, the class will be removed. Now let's just check it. 1 2 3 4 5 6, and as I press 7, we have the color change to green and the icon change to checked. As I press backspace, we will have it back to the red color. So this is working absolutely fine. Now we will just specify it for every other condition. Now for the second rule is the password should have a maximum length of 14 characters, less than equal to 14, but it should also be greater than or equal to 1. Yeah. So we will just, instead of rule 1, we will have rule 2 over here. Now the next condition was it should have lowercase and uppercase letters both. Let's just copy it. So to check for lowercase and uppercase letters, we will need to use this object lowercase and this object uppercase. Now if lowercase dot test, and in the test function we will pass password, and then we will also have uppercase dot test password. So if both of these are true, then only we will add a class of correct to rule 3, and if any one of them is false, then the class will not be added. Now let's do the same with numbers and then special characters. So for numbers, we have the object numbers like this, you can see. So instead of lowercase, we'll just have numbers over here, and instead of rule 3, we will have rule 4, and instead of rule 3 over here, we will have rule 5, and this object will not be lowercase, it will be spec. So this is all the JavaScript we need to add. I hope this was not very difficult to understand. If you go through the video once again, if you just rewind and play it again, you will definitely get the concept. Now let's reload it and check whether it is working or not. Now yeah, we have the second rule satisfied, capital A. Now we have lower and uppercase letters both, so another rule is satisfied. Let's add a number, then a special character, then 7 characters. Now everything is just working fine. So this is how we can create a password validator using CSS and JavaScript. Now if you have any doubts of any of this, then you can drop a comments on the comments box, and I will definitely clear every one of your queries. And if you like the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more such amazing tutorials on CSS and JavaScript, and thank you for watching.